Ghostbusters Frozen Empire is now available to rent or buy on digital. And so we're sitting down with Ben Hall to talk about everything from movie prop to model building. Better stay tuned.
This is your Geek Fix. We're just at the end of the day in a workshop, so it's a bit noisy.
Oh, that's okay. I don't hear anything.
If you'd done next week, it'd have been fine. I'm not working next week, but
really? Hey, that's great though. We're on site with you. How exciting is that?
In fact, actually, I'm on the same site that we did Ghostbusters at Winner.
Oh, are you really? Oh, okay. See, that's good news.
Yeah, well, my job on Ghostbusters, I was head of department prop making, so I was completely in charge of making sure all the props that were requested were made and delivered on time.
Just a couple few, right? That was just nothing big, right?
Nothing big. New proton packs, new weapons,
wow.
All the stuff in the aquarium set, all the
How many months of pre-production, or how many years of pre-production did you have before?
I think the whole job for me was 7 months from beginning to sticking my tools back in the container and shipping it off. So it's not long.
Yeah,
that's fast.
It was,
Was it all scratch, or is there anything that you got to just kind of fix
to be
up
fair,
and kind of go from there?
Yeah, we because we started a bit late, we got a lot of stuff from Macks Factory. We didn't use all of it, but it was a good basis to start off with. So we got the shells. In fact, I think we molded the shell to make the soft, and then we ended up making lightweight shells because they're quite heavy.
Yeah. A little bit.
But we sourced a lot. Obviously, we sourced a lot of pieces from America, and then we had to remold a whole load of stuff, and also the adaptations we made to the proton packs and the guns to upgrade them.
So, what are some of the things that you use as far as alternatives this time for materials that made them a little bit lighter?
Well, no, we still did fiberglass, but we didn't.
Did?
We only laid it up with 2 layers rather than, I think they used 3 or 4.
Okay.
So that keeps the weight down.
Sure.
We still had to cast things in liquid plastic, but we drill holes in them, try and make them, on the inside, try and make things a bit lighter. But you've got to be careful. There's a balance between making it lighter and making it more breakable.
Exactly.
At the end of the day, everybody seems to think that that they're because they look rough and tough, they will be, but they're not.
Right. Still metal motherboards and things too, or what was
we had the actual, say, the wand. That's all aluminium body that we had to draw out, have it molded, welded, and all that. But yeah, we used a lot of stuff that they used in the original ones, like the hose connecting the wand to the pack. It's still the same place. We sourced it from the same place. So a lot of the bits are the same. And then obviously, as you know, on the packs, they're different. We had to just make things slightly different.
Yeah. I mean, some of the original parts are some things that would be harder to source now rather than just fabricating them yourself, wouldn't you say? I mean,
well, I think they're having trouble with those, what are those? I can't remember what they're called, clip hard.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I think getting real clip hards is more difficult than it was. I think all ours were faux ones we made up, and we had the graphics department make up some nice metallic badges to put all those on. But a lot of the stuff, I mean, Gil definitely wanted to have in the proton packs, the red light going round is actually a light going round. We did try with LEDs. We did. It just looks crap. So we did the same thing. We had a bulb mounted on a slip ring so that it could go round and round. The only update is the whole proton pack and wand it was all controlled by a DMX. So we had a controller of the proton pack and another one in fact, no, we just had one in the proton pack. It runs through to the wand, but everything could be controlled, intensities on and off. Even though the switches all work, if anybody wanted anything, they could do it remotely.
You could do the RC, though, the turning it to speed up the spinning and things, too? Or
no, we didn't have that. That was done
more of the first movie or the?
Yeah, it was done by the DMX. It could be controlled the speed. We didn't have anything actually on the pack to do that.
Gotcha.
Okay. Yeah.
Wow. So what about? I mean, did you make the exact number of packs, or did you have to make extras for breakables, or for dummies, or for?
Well, we made
hero.
We made one extra one that went over to special effects. That was Phoebe's pack with the rotating inner part on it. We had to create all that. So we made that up, and then obviously we molded the pack to do the softs, so that you can fall over in them, not hurt yourself too much.
Mm-hmm.
What was the main challenge thing to make?
I don't know. I mean, the biggest challenge, I don't know. It's once you know what somebody wants, it's relatively easy. That's the trouble with the job.
Okay.
It's not actually doing it. It's getting to know what somebody actually wants, so you don't build it 3 times. We did do a bit of that. For instance, we'd do something. We wanted them upgrade, so we'd have to do bits that we thought or what Gil thought, and you just have to do it. Sometimes, I mean, I redid that the bumper, because we had 4 options, and I thought, well, that one looked the best, so I just made it up and sprayed it yellow and stuck it on a pack, and Gil loved it, so I got away with that one.
They lovingly call it the cyclothon because of the 3 parts.
Sumo wrestlers, yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, no,
great stuff. Yeah.
One of the difficult things was doing the drone trap and designing and making the container for the drone trap on top of the car.
Yeah,
I think we probably over-engineered it a bit too much. Although
I heard there were some problems in New York with it staying closed.
Yeah, well, that's probably because they didn't read the instructions.
You had detailed instructions. I mean, I don't know if people have seen this.
I don't know. But we've had stuff. I've had stuff come over from America, and you look at the instructions, you think, "Oh no, let's just figure it out." So it's not. It probably goes both ways. I would have probably have done it a little bit simpler, but I didn't have time. The guy that did it, Richard, was just cracking into it, and it's easy just to let someone go with it.
So
Right.
if you don't mind, if I just make a quick question about that, because I've seen the film very recently, and in the first scene where they sort of use the drone ghost trap, it seems like it's supposed to open from the top, but it almost seems like it's actually sucking in from the bottom. Was it designed?
Well, it just kind of collapses on itself.
Mm-hmm.
So it's bits within bits within bits. It's like a shell.
Mm-hmm.
And they all slide round. I think, like I say, we the trouble is we didn't have any room to put that there. It had to be something that goes on the roof rack, and didn't have any space around it. We had about probably 2 inches all the way around free space, so we didn't have a lot of options to do other things apart from that. And the trouble is, Gil liked that. I like the look of it's like a telescope. Enclosure. That's what he liked, so we had to kind of go with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I saw that the bit when the Americans used it, and I saw that guy just cut the cable tie with disgust.
Well, I saw him. So they're on top of the car with those instructions, and I saw the instructions, and they were like big pages.
Yeah, but he should have read them the day before. He should have read them the day before and had a little play.
Yeah, he was doing it as they went. I could see that.
Yeah. But the trouble is, you needed to, if the battery wasn't connected, it wouldn't work. And I don't know, but it's a shame.
It worked out.
Very high technical stuff.
Yeah.
So is that the prop house that you're in right now? I mean, is that where you guys keep a lot of your stuff as well as work on it, or is it just a shop, or what do you have there?
This is just a shop. It's a tent.
Oh, is it? Oh, yeah. Feel free and show us around.
It's just a tent, and we're not in. We're in what was the prop store. Where I was bigger, and that was next door. But it's another big tent. So,
so was it at Pine Trees or?
This is my world.
Oh, there you go. Oh, nice.
Just
Yeah, that's a
crap
full blown
everywhere.
shop right there. Okay,
Yeah. But,
very nice.
Yeah.
What's your favorite tool? Do you have a favorite or most used tool that you tend to you have there?
Well, it depends really, because I mean, to be fair, I don't use. I mean, I did make a bit of stuff on this, but I'm really wrangling loads of other modelers because you saw the credits, but actually there are about 27 of us.
Yeah.
Oh wow!
Okay, yeah.
Not just the 4.
Well, there
Right,
was a lot
right,
of props.
You know, I know I'm good. I'm not that good. You know, but you know, we had. I had one person just working entirely on making the drone trap. We actually made a flying one, but they wouldn't let us use it. Obviously,
really?
Regulations. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
well, you can't.
because in
It's
New
too
York, or
well, just
okay.
anywhere. Anything with actors and something with 4 very high running propellers is probably not a good idea.
So
But
what
we
did
did
they do with it afterwards?
Sorry?
Where'd they put that?
Well, we did fly it, and the propeller came off, and it smashed. And I've got a box of bits at some point I'll stick back together.
Okay. That sounds cool.
But the other ones you see with the arms folding out, they're the ones I use. And then I think then we did one little lift off with nylon, the old-fashioned way, and then obviously they then redid it in digital. And you know,
Right.
once it's kind of moved a bit on the landing pad, that's it. Takes over with the digital.
So movie making magic, not practical necessarily magic.
Yeah.
Sorry, did you have a favorite prop from the movie that you?
I don't know, because I did quite a lot of work on the single shot blaster as well myself.
Oh, did you?
Well, they were procrastinating about what they wanted, and it's got to be made out of stuff that's everyday, but it's got to be this, you know. So the actual bit that goes on the wrist is half a thermos flask, if you look at it.
Oh,
okay.
And then
I know people are dying to know which one.
Yeah. And then the body is a left-hand version of the Proton wand.
Oh, okay.
Body, but it's
I made one myself. For the premiere.
I with you to the.
It's in pieces. It's also movie magic because I wore it at the premiere, and then it broke because I 3D printed it. But
we tried putting it on the wrist, and it was all loose. That's why it's got that handle, which actually works really well with the switch in the end, because it means that you put it on instead of it something that's just waggling on your wrist. As soon as you grab hold of it, it's all part of you.
You can control it.
So a lot of it was just saying, well, we need to put a handle on. Well, I'll just do this one out of a bit of copper pipe, and we'll stick the switch there and show the director. And, you know, most of the stuff we showed him, he liked. But then he probably liked almost anything. He was obsessed with it. But, you know, that's his baby.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. That makes sense. You had a question, Vinz. I cut you off.
Oh, I kind of forgot now. Sorry. So I've been doing some. Well, I was invited for the premiere, so I did some last minute prop building for the premiere of Frozen Empire, and there's a lot of questions from a group on Facebook. I think the representative of Sony relayed it to you. And I also would like to check how you're on with time, because we don't want to impose too much on you, to get a bit of a bearing on.
No, that's fine. Look, I can always lock up on the way out tonight. Don't worry about that, because we started.
All right, cool. Yeah.
It's 25 past already. It's fine. I'll just lock up when I'm ready to go, or when you finish.
Okay. Cool. So there has been some questions from the fans that are prop building. So what I want to say is about the fact that when the first trailer came out with the drone trap, there were people, and I was one of them, going like frame by frame, trying to figure out what the parts of it were and how it worked, and whether it was a FPV camera or not. And it's very interesting to see how people got the got the parts. Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Let's get some sound going on.
There's someone taking an angle grinder to something.
I wonder what they're working on.
I don't think they can.
Cool to know.
Oh, they've got a bit of emergency on, because we're really close to the end of this film that we're working on.
Are you allowed to say anything about your current project?
And they've just got an emergency because they're doing night shoots. So
no.
I can't hear anything when they're making noise there. They're just moving. It's all right.
Oh, okay.
Can you say which
Are
film it
you
is?
allowed
or-
to say anything about your current project, or
No, I can't say what it is,
Okay.
obviously.
No.
But
that's okay?
all I
you
can
mine
say
it?
is
Can you do?
it's about. I think it's about a tenth of the budget of. No, probably 5% of the budget of Ghostbusters. I'm not quite
Wow.
sure what.
Okay.
It's just
Wow.
it's a small film,
Yeah,
which
All
is
right.
there's just I'm the only model maker here, so
that's
which is
cool.
fine. But
Yeah.
you have to
Okay.
take. It's been very quiet here since the actors and scriptwriters strike.
Oh
I
yeah,
think it's just gone really, really quiet. And there's a lot of people still out of work, even though that it finished in whenever it was,
Right.
September, wasn't it?
yeah.
Yeah.
I think they've all had time to think about what they're making. So it's got a bit quiet. It's beginning to pick up. I've got hopefully a nice, big, juicy film lined up, which again I can't tell you about.
Right.
That's
Well,
fair.
that's okay.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll see you in the
Vince,
credits
why don't you
somewhere.
re-ask your question?
Yeah.
Yeah.
With regards to the drone, it was very interesting to be part of the fans who were trying to replicate this just before the premiere would go out. So people were kind of piecemeal getting the parts together of the drone trap and figuring out the tolerances of what the thing actually was. So they figured out it was probably some kit that was being used, like a drone kit from Alibaba.
A kit off eBay with red and white arms, standard. Because what we figured is that everything they build, they'd be building it off stuff they could get now. So we weren't doing anything fancy. So we got those. There's standard motors, there's standard arms. Yeah, like I said, we bought kits, and I think they were about $30 kit for a frame kit. That's all they were.
Exactly. Yeah.
And we modified them slightly.
Yeah, so just me asking the question is that, so how much are you allowed to divulge? Like, for example, I know there are embargoes among prop makers, for example, that if something hasn't been shown in a trailer or something else, you couldn't give a close-up on it. So how big of a deal is it if you were to mention like part numbers or paints used or anything? Is there something that is like a trade secret?
I don't think Sony would really mind. I mean, there's a whole plethora of Ghostbuster stuff. You look on eBay in this country, you look on Etsy, same in your country. There's a huge amount of stuff that you can buy. And I really think Sony are more than happy to let people, and Ghostbusters GB, they're more than happy to let people know what things are, because it's only going to improve their presence, isn't it? There's no big hidden secret on anything.
Well, you do see that there's sometimes you do see sometimes that there's a cottage industry happening, that someone traces down a part and then buys everything and sells it at a premium.
Well,
that's something I see.
That is the problem, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, everything we got a lot of stuff from Macks Factory, because they're GB stuff, Ghostbusters stuff anyway, and the other stuff we literally just bought off eBay, and it was just what was readily available. There was no big deal looking for specialist stuff. I mean, to be fair, don't forget the muzzle, the flash arrestor on the new gun. We had those turned up, and they were quite expensive. They're about $300 each. So
I'm glad.
And I'm sure I've seen people could 3D print them, but they don't last very long if they're 3D printed.
No, that's true.
Ours obviously have to. Well, ours have to be as strong as we can make them, because actors sometimes don't.
No, that's
I like
true.
playing with them.
Yeah. So I've got some questions from like a prop making community. It's called Spengler's 1984's Workbench. And they had some very specific questions. I believe Sony shared them with you beforehand, but feel free to answer whatever you can. And if we can, that's fine as well. So one of the things is Mikhail Lin asks what kind of button or switch is under the red cover on the drone trap controller.
Okay, again, that is just... It's one of those eBay, it's like a missile switch, So you flip it up and there's a toggle switch underneath. I actually did that, the remote control.
You did? So it's one of those with the light up switch, right? The one that was also used for the RTV, I guess.
The back of the...
no, it's not a light up switch. You just flick it up and it's just a regular switch under there.
Okay.
Is it the same as the one that's on the back of the See, this problem with being up all night.
The Proton pack. No, that's a breaker
ghost
switch.
meter.
No, it's just a straightforward toggle switch.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Right.
Yeah, because you buy the covers and they go over those big, sort of 12-volt car toggle switches.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of that, and then it's just a cover over that, so you don't actually switch it on.
Accidentally quick.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Well, if you've got nitrous oxide in the car, you don't want
That's what it reminds me of. That.
switch it on by mistake. We just bought bits and pieces, little aerials. Yeah, just bits of aerials and from phones and things like that, and just bits of wire and stuff. And it's just,
kit bash it all together.
That was just, they got the right controller, and I just stuck a few wires on it and a few lights in it, and
there's
mushed it all around.
It's a SciTech PlayStation controller. I know that. Let's see. If you could share pictures, if you have them, I
don't have any pictures here. I don't think. The only ones I've got are on my computer, which obviously I'm talking to you on.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Would you mind if you wanted to email some later? I can put them in.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's all right.
That works.
I'll write these down and see what I can. I'll see what we've got in the way of pictures, but I don't think there's any problem. It's stuff that's made. It's not top secret.
That's great.
But there are people who are like serial number crazy about this. If you could help them out, that would be really cool. Then someone would like to know who made the Ecto goggles and what alterations were made to them for the drone.
Not much in the way. Like, again, it was just adding some wires and a couple of aerials to them. I'm just gonna see if I can find any pictures.
Okay.
On my phone, because it'll be on the right. Where are we?
Seems like a lot of scroll back.
There's a lot of photographs here. Let me put it down. Look, Ecto goggles.
Okay. There you go.
I'm gonna make a lot of friends happy.
Yeah, I'll see what I can dig out. We should have pictures of them. I mean, you've got a nice picture there of you.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Yeah.
And that's the other side.
Oops. Oh, there it is.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
So I probably I just got to dig them out, and they're probably not all in. Because we did make a lot of other stuff as well. It wasn't just the Proton packs; it was all the. As you know,
you did the Harley Davidson as well, didn't you?
Oh, look at that.
That's
very nice.
That's one of the containment unit.
So is that all scratched?
We did the original containment unit, because and it was amazing. Somebody had made one, and it wasn't really that close. But we went through the film and managed to find pictures, original one, and then we recreated it.
Yeah, we've got one because I'm part of a costume group for the Netherlands, Ghostbusters NL.
Yeah,
and we have this when we go to Comic Cons, we have a little facsimile of a Dutch Ghostbusters headquarters, and we have one of those containers as well, where people can go and play with it, so to say.
They wear wooden shoes there. That's the difference, if you were wondering. They power it with a windmill too.
Oh yeah, definitely, yeah. So going forward, just a question that Christopher P. Sullivan would like to know, and I'm not sure if they were on the Frozen Empire packs, but on Ghostbusters 2, for example, they had these metal charging plates on the bottom. I assume the ones that you had for Frozen Empire were differently powered than the ones from Ghostbusters 2, right?
Which bits were powered?
So there was a small aluminum charging plate that would be on the bottom of the pack that would have a XLR plug or something going in, but I don't think those are on the Frozen Empire packs, are they?
No, what we did on our Proton packs, we had the all the guns could be plugged into any Proton pack.
Okay.
So before, where they had wires running through, we've actually got a 3-pin or a 5-pin DIN plug, so that everything. So you can put any gun onto any wand onto any Proton pack, and it'll work.
Make it a bit more flexible.
Make it a lot more flexible.
Ooh. something spiked.
Obviously, the exception is that special effects Phoebe's one.
Oh, there you go.
With the spinning, that was obviously just one unit made on its own.
And then, if we could get a close up on the engineer badges, I'm not sure if you were part of that, making that badge. Like
no, that would have been. Yeah, I think that would have been the costume department.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah.
Then we have Toby Canham James, who asks if there's any more info on the red anodized handle on the wrist-mounted wand, like the actual clicker.
Let me have a look at the picture, see if I can work out. So trouble, it all seems like a lifetime ago now.
Oh yeah.
Where's that picture?
Yeah, when did you guys wrap? I mean, it probably was quite a long time ago now.
July last year.
Yeah.
All right.
Wow.
Well, you mean that on here?
Let's just see.
Right there.
Yeah,
the thing she's holding, the on the pipe.
Oh,
basically.
so the end of the piece that she's actually holding.
Oh, right.
That part. Okay.
Yeah, that part. Yeah.
That was, we had a switch, and I don't know where I think we got that. There's a couple of places in London where you could, which collect up all sorts of things like ex-military and ex-technical stuff, from aircraft, and when they take them apart, there's loads of really interesting little bits, and there's a couple of companies collect those, and then we buy backshot, and we bought a whole load of. You can't see the switch from this side, from the other side. It was just a straightforward switch, push switch. That we wired in. There's a bit of yellow pipe, and that silver is actually a bit of copper pipe, plumbing pipe with an elbow on it. Because again, we figured that's how they'd have made it.
Yeah. So the actual handle is a red handle, right? And they were wondering what that was, that part.
Which bit?
So the one
that's the hand. You mean that handle, or do you mean?
The bit covered in yellow tape,
the hands covered with
Yeah. I can probably dig you out another photograph of that.
Sure.
Okay.
I'll see what I can find. All right. So.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just going through the questions here. But that's okay.
Yeah. I'm impressed you have so many questions. Look at all these questions.
Yeah. I asked them. I want to give back to the community, right? So Dennis Michael asks, what was the material and tape for the new padding in front of the Alice frame, and were any Macks shells used on screen, which you said, but they're mainly looking for the material and tape for the new padding for the Proton packs.
Going on the Alice packs? If I can remember correctly, it was just it's lagging in insulation. Oh. The pipe insulation lagging that you get that goes around copper pipe.
That's what I used for mine. Yeah. Okay.
But that's what everybody else uses.
I'm screen accurate.
No, but
I'm just trying to see.
But they also had a sort of pillow on the back end of it, that not just the headrest.
Yeah, that was just pipe lagging.
Okay.
So it's got a small hole that clips around the Alice frame.
Yeah.
There's a split in it, and then it's just gaffer tape on it.
Yeah, but the whole back of the Alice frame was also covered. Duct tape. All right. Just duct tape.
Yeah. Some of them might have been done slightly differently. Again, I'd have to go through my photographs. All the photographs I've got are all from the front, not from the back.
Oh, look at that.
Well, anything you can give you is greatly appreciated. So basically, these are the unanswered questions in the prop making community that people have been, trying to figure out, but haven't been able to have the access to get it answered.
Yeah. We still have our Ghostbusters WhatsApp group, so I'll just put it out onto that. Because like I say, there's 25, 26 of us. So whoever did that will tell me about, we did it like this.
Oh, that's nice.
Mm-hmm.
And we would be happy to credit them as well. Yeah. So they also wanted to know, and I know they're really useful boxes, but what kind of plastic container do we see them storing the Proton packs in during behind-the-scenes videos?
Really useful boxes.
Yeah, but they want to know the exact type and shape and everything.
Well, it's the size that takes the thing. I don't know. I think it's probably about the largest one they build.
Yeah. I have those for my video game collection. They're really useful. We're not sponsored, but they're useful.
Actually, no, I've got one at home. I'll try and look it up and see if it's got a serial number.
Oh, that's
all right,
great.
Cool, thanks.
Oh, nice.
There you go.
Then moving forward,
box number.
And yeah, if I'm going too fast, let me know, because I'm happy to have this kind of access to basically the person who made all the cool stuff that I have replicated at my house now. So they want to know, and this is probably not something you have on top of your head, but they would want to know what the exact brands, colors, and sheens are used to paint the Proton packs. And I do know that Ben Millen came up with Techno Grip Satin Black Spray, at least.
Yeah, that's right. Ben Millen was our resident Ghostbusters fan that we employed. When we started it, I said, you know what, we're going to get a lot of grief from the Ghostbusters fan. We ought to think about getting somebody who is. And he'd seen that we were doing it. He'd written to my buyer. And I tell you what, he was an absolute diamond, because even though I took him on as a trainee, he's far better as a model maker, and he was brilliant in everything that he did.
Oh, cool.
So, but it's good though, because he makes little switches and stuff in his spare time for the Proton packs and everything. So he's well aware of what's going on. So he kind of kept us in line on what we were doing. If we were getting too far away from the original.
Voice of reason.
Yeah. But the yellow.
Yeah.
If you want to know the yellow, we had it mixed up specially, but we had Gil come down and I just grabbed a whole load of things that were yellow, roughly that sort of hazard yellow, and put them down in front of him and said, choose one. And he picked one. And then we got that colour, and I think we added a tint of orange to it. But it's actually, if you have the yellow that they use in all the New York signs, we notice it's exactly the same colour.
Oh, okay.
It's that hazard yellow in New York signs is pretty damn close to the yellow that we used. Unfortunately, I will try and see if I can get because it's not a proper, it was mixed up for us. I don't think I got a RAL number for the yellow. I will try and get hold of the company who they basically supply all the film industry with paint. They should have it written down what that yellow is.
That's pretty sweet, yeah. Well, some people are probably going to kick out about that. So and also the thing is,
but if you get a yellow mixed up to the same color that you see on yellow on New York signs, and you're pretty damn close.
Yeah,
because we noticed and also that when we went onto the set.
Oh, really? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because the difficulty is with all the color grading going on, it's difficult to figure out what the exact colors of things while you're seeing them versus what you see on the movie, of course.
Yeah, the screen is going to have a different color than the actual thing. Yeah.
Well, like I say, they matched up quite well with the yellow on the New York signs we'd hired, so that's a good basis to start off with.
Yeah. For me, to be honest, any yellow works for me, whatever I have on hand. But so I'm not that tedious on that, but I can appreciate it.
It's just a bright yellow hazard color, isn't it? It's just yellow.
Yeah, exactly. One other thing that is a bit of a pet project from mine is like in the Ecto Z or Z, they have these charging boxes for the Proton packs. Like the drip chargers or whatever, not the maple ones on the bottom, but the ones on the top. They were like project boxes with some stuff on it. Jeremy, you have a picture of those? I sent you.
What they were.
Hang on.
Yeah,
I was trying to find. You mean the one that was in the van?
Yeah.
You mean those?
On the wall? Not the yellow ones, because those are maple drip charges that I know about. But there are.
Yeah, that's right. You mean the one on the? Oh, that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you need to know? What it was?
So
if you send me that picture, I'll put it.
Oh,
go ahead. What are you asking about with the toggle, or?
Well, basically everything. The thing is, people were. This is a replica someone made from that group, and they were trying to match the parts with the with the size of the box. So I bought some from Lewis Electronics that is a project box that looks the part, but it might not be the right size, so that the whole stuff doesn't work. Okay.
I don't know whether I'd
screen
be able to find the right size.
Yeah, so basically what they're trying to figure out. Okay, but they're basically trying to figure out what the toggle switches are, what the heat sinks are, and basically anything that's screwed into, they would like to know.
Those things
I don't know. That was probably one of the minor things we did. So that it's just it probably went under my radar.
No, we're keep track of. Yeah,
Bins on it. It could have been anything that was kicking around.
Right.
Yeah, just definitely. Another prop for the pile.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to remember we made Slimer's rubbish
Slimer's what?
4 times before they were happy with it.
Yeah. Oh, really?
I heard how many times? 4 times?
4 times.
Oh, wow.
So, for that one
something somewhere in between, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like we know what we want, but that's not it.
Oh, yeah.
I'll see it when
I need it. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Since you're the model maker guy, I mean, as far as kit bashing goes, do you have a big collection of models for kit bashing and things, or do you make everything scratch these days?
I tell you what. When I started off and I was doing miniatures, and then miniatures have gone. I think they're beginning to come a bit back, but then the trouble is they haven't got cameramen that can shoot miniatures. It's quite a major. You've got to really understand it.
Sure.
So that's what I started out doing, miniatures. And that would have been a bit of kit bashing and a bit of this and a bit of that. And then round about 2000, all the miniatures stopped. And then so I moved into making props because I did have a company before that we did miniatures, and I had motion control and everything. And that, of course, when digital came, that all went out the window.
Yeah.
And now, and then so I started making props and models.
Still big scale kit bashing, you could say. I mean, you're taking things from other things.
Bigger boxes of bits, that's what it is.
Yeah, it is.
You always have loads of bits and pieces, interesting shapes. I mean, to be fair, nowadays people can because pattern making has now disappeared, which was quite an art because everybody 3D prints stuff. The trouble is, I think if you're not careful, it's all going to end up looking the samey because people will draw up the same sort of stuff. And when AI gets involved, it's going to be which is what's going to happen. AI will just be feeding, 30 machines, printing machines.
Sort of losing the creativity behind it.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's all going to go a bit. The only thing that will definitely not go is the painters, because there's no way a machine or an AI is going to be able to paint as well as a human, because it's all to the eye and with light.
Right.
So really, that's the safest job to be in the film industry, I think, is being a painter. No, I'm sure there'll still be lots more work for everybody, but, we're just using it, I have a laser cutter, we have 3D printers, we have all that stuff.
But you're missing out on the maker's mark, really.
Yeah. And it all depends really what everybody wants and how much they want to pay. A lot of films now, it's all down to budget. I mean, this one I'm working on, it's all about budget. So it's, this is what we want and this is what we can afford, and you try and do something somewhere in between.
Yeah. You want to be cheap, but also wow them in some way.
I mean, you can still be creative and cheap, but it's also
but it restricts you slightly.
It does restrict you slightly, obviously, because but then a lot of the time, having lots of money to do stuff, you still might not produce what they want because basically they might not know what they want. Like I say, the hardest part of this job is understanding what somebody wants. The rest of it's relatively easy.
Yeah, trying to match what their vision is.
Sorry?
Trying to match what their vision is, like in their head.
Yeah, and if they can, describe it, and sometimes people, art directors and productions, they're great. They'll come down and they'll have all these pictures and they'll put them down and say, look, I want this. It's got to be something like this, something like this, something like this, and they'll have mood boards so that you get the kind of idea of what they want. And usually if they're a good art director or a good production designer, they will be able to explain to you what they want. But then if you've got, like on some of the other films, you have people that they can't even talk properly, let alone let you know what they want.
So what would be the longest time it took you from concept to actual thing that they would like or would agree to?
Well, it depends on what it is, and you've got to. It's what they want and what they see as the end product. I did quite a lot of work in commercials and pop promos, and that's Commercials are quite good because it's a 30-second film and every second's important. So they really want to be on the case, and that can be quite demanding doing commercials. I find working on films, I think, is a bit easier.
Yeah,
because
well,
the
A little
extended
more
timeline.
flexible.
Yeah.
On the flip side, though, I mean, I saw. I mean, I've seen the movies that you've been involved in things. I don't know how much you did at all in like television and things, but have you seen any? Now we're high definition for everything, but I mean, there was a time where for props on television, you could get away with an awful lot because the resolution.
Have you ever seen Blake 7?
Yeah.
That's getting away with this really small budget.
Well, even I was talking to one of our friends, Chris Bernardo. He was telling us about they went to pick up some of the hero props from the old Doctor Who series.
Yeah,
and I mean, they were literally just glue and duct tape and like you'd think what you imagined or you thought you saw was definitely not what they actually were in the end, because they didn't have to be.
Funny you mentioned Doctor Who, because have you seen Adventure in Space and Time, the little film which was all about how Doctor? Yeah. Well, I made the TARDIS console.
You did?
Oh,
Yeah. And we just, it was great because we got onto all the Doctor Who fans to get all the information. But yeah, that was all scratch built from basically really old photographs. And
wow. That was a lot of switches and things to get together.
Yeah. There's a lot of switches. It was just sourcing everything because, of course, when they did it, a lot of the handles were off, a mini car or something like that. You can't get anymore. And that bowl at the bottom with all the holes in is a salad bowl, plastic salad bowl, which you can't buy. We had to buy a big EMA sphere, and somebody had to spend hours just drilling holes in it to make it look right.
That's something you could have bought on the corner of a street like ages ago.
40 years ago, we could have bought it for a couple of dollars or whatever.
Yeah.
So that's when you have to replicate stuff. It can be quite difficult because you then got to replicate what was really cheap at the time. I said a lot of the bits we had to we analysed and we pattern made and then moulded and cast out as best we could. Yeah. I don't think it's not too bad.
So I had a Sand Trooper backpack, and a lot of the stuff comes from those shops that sell the aeronautics things and all that. But one of the things that I'm still looking for was a siphon from a toilet that they used on the backpack, and it's just me going through like 50 siphons that have been out of stock for ages, kind of trying to match it up to whatever the part is. And because James and we were in London last year at the prop store. We were nearby Elstree Studios and all that area. So we tried to find stuff related to movie making and all that. But at the prop store, they auction off the props. And it was very funny to see that some props you would see were like big relics or items that were just, like, for example, the movie Tron. It was just a hockey helmet with some Sharpies lines on top of it. Like, the movie magic really is real, and I really appreciate the fact that prop makers do their best to balance the creativity, the how do you say it, the cost, and also the looks of things. Authenticity, exactly.
Yeah,
and it's a
I
real.
mean, I don't know what films you think I've worked on, but I've worked on Prometheus.
You did The Martian, didn't you? Or
The Martian, Life. Yeah. I've done quite a lot of sci-fi. I did Captain America, the first one.
Yeah, so now you did model building on that one, right?
Yep. Sorry?
You did some model building for the Captain America, didn't you?
No, what mostly I did on that was the motorbikes for the bad guys.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I did that, and I did the bit on the Viking door, which has the secret panel that you push, the door opens, and I did quite a lot on the big thing that transforms him from a weakling into Captain America.
Oh, the whole
big tube
thing.
The tube.
Yeah. Okay.
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah, so you probably had to source quite a bit of 1950s that's an earlier stuff that was even earlier than 1956. And now think about it.
1940s. Well, no.
Yeah,
I think everything we did was built, because what it is, it's that World War II sci-fi horror bit that's all quite fun to do. Because the bikes, they just gave us the motorbikes. They had the swinging arms extended, but that was it. They were just 250 motocross bikes, just looked like motocross bikes. And it was us, me and another guy had to make all the body work, redo the wheels and dress it all up. Yeah, which was fun.
You also worked on the Ecto motorbike then for Frozen Empire, right? Because I saw a clip.
Yeah, we did all that center console, and there's a bit of a proton pack in the back, isn't there?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
on the back part that doubles up as tail
buttons. Yeah,
and the buttons,
yeah.
So how difficult was it to get that practically open? Like, was it a chore or not?
What the
front of the sidecar?
Well, we didn't actually do that. Special effects did all that bit with the movement.
Mm-hmm.
So what we did was all the buttons and stuff on the petrol tank.
Yeah.
Okay,
and we did a proton pack that goes in the back.
They did the magic part.
Yeah. Mind you, I mean,
when I went out to test and with I was sitting there at lunch with Adam, and he's like, "I got to show you something," because we were talking about things that were hard to get, kind of like what we were talking about a few minutes ago, like things that get hard to get or where you want to figure out what the thing is that would work as an alternative. And he ran and got his what's the name of the book again, Vinz? Because
Toby Spirit Guide.
It's the auto. What's that? No, not the Toby Spirit. No, the book that gives you it gives you all the parts you can order from it.
McMaster Car.
Named it the other day. Yeah, McMaster. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Are you familiar with that?
No.
It's a big old. It's a company. Yeah, it's an American thing. He brought it out and showed it to Chris, who's also out in England, the Wand Company. But basically, like these people, you have to order so much for them to be able to get it. But I guess a lot of the model makers use it, but they'll actually consult with you and tell you, well, here's the thing, and stuff that isn't in production anymore, they can get it for you. And stuff. And so, but he was walking us through all there's pictures upon pictures of different things, also as reference pieces. But one of the things I thought was funny is even the standard cassette tapes, it's hard to find cassette tapes to be able to make some of the things that they were trying to do.
Really?
Yeah.
Loads of old cassette tapes. Maybe
I got some in the other room. I was like, well, gee whiz. I didn't know they were rare, but yeah. Yeah. Oh. I got to admit, it's been a while since I've had a car eat one, but at the same time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Now all you do is have a CD that stops.
Yeah.
Oh, that CD player, that Sony one, the ESP Sports DS something, that went up in price after the video with Adam Savage. That thing.
Oh, from the movie. Yeah,
that was 400 euros a piece. They're expensive now.
Yeah, I didn't know there's so much you guys did practically on that film, or that were actual props and that were that you guys.
Yeah, like the spinning thing in the Proton pack with the little flint going on. That was brilliant. From just having a very down to earth practical effect that looks like it was. People probably in their minds over-engineered it to hack to make it work. Like they were thinking, okay, maybe some lighter fluid or some actual, angle grinder thing going on. And the way it was done it was just a brilliant way of prop making. I won't be able to make it in my own Proton pack, but the way it was done was very nice. Yeah.
So do you usually, who makes these directions that you guys send out with things? Like who's mocking those up?
How do you mean?
Well, like with that, with the top of the opening piece and things, like the directions that you guys send out to tell people, okay, well, when this prop arrives, this is how you make this thing work, or this is how you're supposed to operate it.
Well, I mean, but it had instructions. I just don't think the guys in America read them.
Right. Like who mocks up the instructions? Is that you?
Well, the guy that built it.
Oh, okay.
The guy that built it did it. Well, who else? You wouldn't want anybody else to do it.
Right. Well, yeah. That's impressive.
Maybe we should have got somebody who wasn't familiar with it at all to see if they could work out whether they were readable or not.
Yeah.
Someone who worked at IKEA before.
Yeah, exactly.
That'd be pretty funny.
Proton pick. And you would get a little Allen wrench to make it yourself.
Peg A to peg
Allen
B.
key.
Kind of
The
thing,
same instructions you can't read.
Yeah. So do you guys have somebody that's usually on board too to fix stuff, or if it breaks? You usually have somebody on board to fix things?
Yeah. I mean, sometimes we have. Well, we were fortunate because the studio, most of the studio shots were literally 200 yards away. So, if there's anything that might have been broken, we can
just run
whip
over
down there and sort it out, or have somebody on standby, or bring it back. So it wasn't too bad. I mean, fortunately, not too much stuff did break. So
yeah, that's good. That was different. I know in the I know in Afterlife they had quite a few things that kind of got either smashed or broken, or that they had to tape together to make it last. So that's pretty good.
No, we on the whole, I think we did pretty well. We only had a few minor little breakages.
Yeah,
on the whole thing.
Do you know if any props disappeared afterwards?
I couldn't possibly comment on that. As far as I know, everything went to the appropriate places.
That's good.
Oh yeah.
So is it a requirement that anyone that's related to the props that their first name has to be Ben?
Yeah, exactly.
Between you and Betty and stuff like that.
No, I mean, for instance, the prop department, the property master, and the prop department looked after all the stuff when we built it. We'd then go into a storage room that was all locked up. Because obviously, I think the 3 original Ghostbusters packs are worth an absolute. Well, they're irreplaceable, aren't they?
Yeah.
I mean, we could probably have made. Well, we made a whole load of wands as crew gifts for the. Gil wanted a whole load of crew gifts, so we did 20 original Ghostbusters Proton wands.
Oh, nice.
And but they were being held from a petri dish of green goo.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So they had to work for
there was one on eBay not so long ago. But,
oh, really?
And they had lights in.
Oh, wow.
Do you have so if somebody was wanting to do what you do, what would be your recommendation to them at this point in time?
Well, I think it's very difficult because when I started, there was no internet, there was no nothing. And I was fortunate enough, I had a friend of mine did it. I mean, I'm a fully qualified marine biologist, and I was making stained glass windows. And then I drifted into making models. I mean, I'd obviously made models before, kit bashed and things like that. In this country, most of the people go to, there's about 6 or 7 universities that do model making. Wow. Unfortunately, the people at those universities are the people that didn't hack it in the film business. So they tell them how to make models. But, I mean, I've always said this. They go there to university for 3 years. I could teach them everything in less than a year of what they need to know to be a trainee.
So you're offering?
Yeah.
Well, I had thought about it, but yes, no, but it's being able to find people, but it's a lot easier nowadays. You can find people that run jobs. You can look on films. You can see who the HOD is on and you can track them down through IMDb, etc. Yeah. You can actually find those people. Then you just got to write a letter to them and say. I mean, the universities usually. I mean, I used to get a lot of kids from Hatfield, and I'd phone them up. When I was doing when I did Cats and when I did Eternals, it was the right time. I just phone them up and say, right, what are the best students you've got? Send them over.
All right.
And that's what's other HODs as well. So it's actually quite good in this, especially if you're quite close to London where all the studios are.
Yeah.
I think if you live a long way away, it just makes it more difficult because you really need to be somewhere near London because that's where 90% of the stuff is done. I mean, they are, but we seem to have so many new stages going up and down here. Hopefully there should be lots and lots of work. But like I say, it's a bit quiet at the moment.
Yeah, we tried to get in there.
Yeah, but in the old days, you could actually blag your way into a studio and go and see people, but now you can't even get past security. I can't. I find it very difficult to go to any. Even though I've been in the business for nearly 40 years, I think I find it very difficult to be able to get into some stage studios because they're all different security staff, and they don't know you, so you have to have a meeting with somebody or whatever before
you can't just show them your IMDb page. And...
Yeah.
This is me.
No, in the olden days, especially at Shepherd, we knew the girl that was on there, and you just go around, she'd just wave you in.
Right.
You're going in there just to go and have a hunt around, seeing what work's going. But now I think it's all much internet-based thing and phone calls. And I mean, I always, I'll always see anybody. I'll always look at their CV, whatever. You never know.
No.
So if we submit some props to you, then you'll just take those and you'll help us get them into a movie. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, one of Jeremy's dreams. One of Jeremy's dreams is actually to get one of his props in a movie somewhere. He's so. If you ever need an amateur,
that's it.
Yeah. Speaking of making props, there's one thing I would like to ask your opinion about, just for someone, our viewers at home. So I'm from the Netherlands. I have a interactive stand with the Ghostbusters theme, like the Dutch headquarters. And we were joking about wooden cloaks, but actually I'm trying to make a prop that is sometimes they call us Dutch people cheeseheads, right? Kaaskop, which is the Dutch term. And I actually bought like a fake wheel of cheese that I would like to make haunted. So my idea was it's a hollow cheese wheel basically. So I thought I would hollow it out, cover it with some, some fabric or something. Yeah, and then have like a sculpted head pop out of it, like maybe animated. Yeah. I was wondering how you would approach such a thing, or if you have any ideas behind that. If you were to make a haunted cheese wheel.
If I want to make a haunted cheese wheel, I don't know.
That's a good one, isn't it?
I mean, like you said, I would probably. What you need to do is cast the cheese in make a mold, and then plaster mold, and then do a latex front, so that you could then have a mannequin behind, some baby's doll's head and arms, with the mechanism that could push into it, so that when it went back, it was flat. I don't know. I mean. Just thinking off the top of my head.
Yeah. Perfect.
Yeah, do a casting. Yeah, because I thought I would just cover it with cloth, but if I do a casting, it will actually retain the shape and it doesn't look tacked on.
Yeah.
And if I can make it the same color,
you could probably do it with lycra, which would be a lot easier than around with latex. But if you get that really stretchy lycra, and then I would have thought, get a head and make sure it's really tough, so you can really push it hard into it, but also design the head so that you don't get areas where the material's stretched and it's not. You need a round shape that pushes out.
Yeah.
But if you have anything that's going in, you won't see the middle bit because it's just stretched over it. A pyramid shape would come out perfectly, whereas another shape might not work well.
Yeah. All right, thanks. I'll show you the end result.
Okay.
In a few weeks. Yeah,
that'd be cool.
Anything else? Because I went through all my talking points, I think.
That's perfect.
There's a cheeky one I want to ask you at the end. If it's possible.
What's the cheeky one? Let's do it.
If it's at all possible to get something, and it could be like a sliver of tape or whatever that has been screen used from the Ghostbusters film, that you would be willing to ship, and I will pay for the shipping, but we can display in our stand. If you're allowed to.
When you said cheeky, I thought you were going to say something funny. You missed the time.
The trouble is, everything that was screenshot got packed away and got shipped off to America.
All right.
So I don't think there's anything really left. I mean, the only thing I've got, and you can't have it, which I brought in.
Is that a Stay Puft?
Oh, nice.
Stay Puft.
Oh, wow.
All little rubber Stay Puft.
Oh, that's cool. That's nice.
So was that used for reference then? So they knew how big they were, where they were?
Yeah, they made a load of these just as reference. And
Yeah.
made them so that they could just put
you know where to look and stuff like that.
Stuff.
That's cool.
That's nice.
Yeah.
To stress
fun.
relief.
But that wasn't.
Yeah, and stress relief.
even though it was probably shot, it wasn't used. If you know what I mean, because it would just be a reference.
CGI was done over it.
Anything used in a production that would be like, this is a nail we used, whatever, just a small thing.
You have some toilet paper? I would take some toilet paper, send it to Vince, and say,
just go to
these are pieces of a ghost.
I'm sure I could probably find something.
That's cool, thanks.
Just trying to think what I've got. I've got all sorts of, I'll have to have a look. I've got a whole box of bits somewhere.
Yeah.
All right, yeah.
I had a hero prop on me the other day. The studio, I was entrusted with to send back to the studio, FedEx it, and I gotta admit, it ran through my head. Well, I could just hold on to this a little bit longer because honestly, it was because somebody else entrusted me, but I did get it back. I did ship it back.
Yeah, you have to, really.
Sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Sure.
Yeah. So,
or something that looked like it. I sent it back.
Well, I haven't had. The trouble is, we've been quite quiet since the writers and actors strike. Like I say, it's all beginning to pick up enough. So my workshop at the moment, shop as you call it, is all still in 3 containers back at my place, waiting for the next job, which hopefully is going to be in the next 6 weeks. But it's quite a major big one, which I'm quite pleased about. This one, all I brought is my hand tools, which I always have out. Because I have a barn back where I live, so I do bits and pieces.
So when the NDA is over, we should check back in with you. So we can know which the project was. It's going to stay a secret for right now, though.
Well, if it's the one I'm hoping it's going to be quite a big major one. So
that's cool. Right. That's very cool.
In the same sort of vein as Ghostbusters, that kind of era.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Oh, very exciting.
I was going to ask, without revealing anything, in your personal opinion, does this next project excite you more or less? It doesn't have to be because of the project is grander or not. Just what the actual thing is going to be.
This next one will be, I think, as equally, if not more, demanding than Ghostbusters.
Oh wow!
Okay.
Because Ghostbusters, to be fair, it's a proton pack. It's an upgraded proton pack. It's a drone trap. It's a flying drone trap. They're not too far away from what's already established. You know what the trap's going to have to look like. You know what the proton pack's going to have to look like. And it'll be a bit the same on this other film if I get on it. But I think there's going to be a lot more of it. It's
Star Wars, bigger. Star Trek, aliens. It's
so a lot more of the creative process on your half. There's going to be parts where you already know roughly. You have.
I know
some
roughly
sort of
what they'll want. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
So it's
we'll know roughly what they'll want. But it'd be quite exciting.
I think carried away here.
I think being it's another sort of, it's the same sort of thing as Ghost, but it's the same sort of target audience.
Oh, there you go.
Okay.
Right, there you go.
So,
but say no more.
I've done Star Wars films, and it's fine, but it's a bit passé, really.
Gotcha.
They've done a lot of Star Wars stuff over here.
Okay.
I've done
that's where it was all
Force
done.
Awakens.
Yeah.
All sorts of bits and pieces.
Well, so you're giving us some good hints. Now we'll track it down, figure it out.
Well, there's quite a lot of films going on over here.
Yeah.
So what's the prop that you're proudest of the most? If you could pick one, for example, if there's a
from any
fire
movie.
and you would from any movie.
What on Ghostbusters?
Well, any movie at all, just in your career.
Sorry,
any
in
movie.
your career as a prop maker.
I don't know. It's very difficult. It's very difficult to say what I'm.
Pick a child.
Yeah, exactly.
It's really very difficult. It's very, very difficult to decide what was the best prop or the best miniature. Yeah. I mean, we did some cracking miniatures on Animal Farm, which you probably don't even realise are miniatures.
Really?
I did Band of Brothers. We did a lot of miniatures on Band of Brothers, which was good. It's good. I signed up for miniatures, and then I ended up doing props. Not that I do enjoy doing props. Don't get me wrong.
Right. There is something great about miniature work.
But I think actually, doing the Proton pack and the one was pretty good, and doing a lot of the bits on that, the single shot, it's the ones where we can put our input in rather than somebody giving us a drawing. It's like on Captain America, they gave us kind of a sketch of how they wanted the bike to do, but obviously they realised the practicality of having a bike that you've got to ride. It's not just a picture. Classic thing is the art directors, they'll say, well, it's 100mm hole and we gave you 100mm plug, it should fit. And of course it won't, because it's not going to. It might work on your computer, it won't work in real life. So a lot of it's just sorting out problems like that. Rather than, the great thing with Ghostbusters was we want something to go on the wrist. We think we should be made out of, household materials. What do you think? Here's a rough idea. And then we'd have to make it practical. So in a way, that is actually more fun. It's the same with the drone trap. It's a box that flies. Now make it look good. They didn't.
You just had a lot more freedom with it.
Yeah.
Right.
You give the freedom to be able to just say, because a lot of it is the practical props. It's much more. It's the miniatures. It's the practicality of what you're making. A prop is something that's going to be handled by an actor. Chances somebody who has no idea of how much work, how fragile it is, and how much it costs, because they're too busy worrying about being an actor, which is fair enough.
Right.
So things have to be made practical, so they feel right. Because we try, like I said, with the single shot blaster, we had it on the wrist, and the girl just didn't like it. It was just, and we realised it needed that. And then as soon as we put that handle on it, it all came together, because you could hold it, you could point it. It wasn't, you weren't worried about it falling off your wrist.
You throw your weight around with it.
Yeah.
Stability.
So,
yeah.
So I think actually you're probably right. Actually, probably some of the best stuff was the Ghostbusters stuff. To be fair,
well, there you go.
I've done bits on Star Wars and stuff. We did the Martian. That was quite good fun doing the Mars rover, but that was like a group.
That's what you did. I was wondering what it was. Oh, okay, gotcha.
We made 3 of them.
Did you really?
What you don't realise is it runs on a 3-litre diesel engine, and we had huge pipes taking the exhaust gas off stage.
Yeah. Wow. Very different than when it's on the moon.
I did Exodus as well, which and we did. Me and one other chap did all the Hittite chariots, and that was good fun.
Wow. Yeah,
that's great.
So we do get quite a lot of different stuff.
So the chariots, were they the miniatures or the actual chariots?
Oh no, full size.
Full size. Oh,
full size. We did. I think
actually
we did 30 chariots altogether, and I think we did about 7. Of the Hittite, they were all wooden and horsehair and stuff like that, horse hides. Whereas the Egyptian ones were all molded PT flex, all covered in gold and fancy.
Wow!
But they all had to be totally practical.
Yeah.
To be able to be used with horses. But that was really good fun. We went out to Spain to shoot those, and we had a great time.
Well, we really appreciate your time and sitting down with us and talking to us today, and giving us all the details.
It's been a real pleasure, and it's a little less worrying than when I did the interview with Adam Savage, because obviously I was in front of the camera and I don't like that. Much easier.
Ghostbusters Frozen Empire is now available to buy or rent on digital.
For more interviews like this, like, subscribe, comment below, and stay tuned for more of your Geek Fix.